Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear. We're upstairs with the brand new DYE CZR Plus. So this is the latest iteration, the evolving of the CZR, the Rise over here. We've got one right here so that we can compare it to the CZR Plus, so that we can show you what is different, what has changed, what's new, what's been updated, whatever we can get from that one right there. So there are 6 colors on the CZR Plus. We've got 3 of them sitting out in front of us right now. So we've got PGA colors, and then we've got solid colors right there. So we've got black and gold. We've got some the die-cam stuff right here. So this is the what do they call this one right here? So that's the, they call it like Hypercam, I believe, is this new pattern that they're doing. They've got that on a lot of their clothing now and their headbands and things like that. So Hypercam, this one right here, is the cyan Hypercam. We have the olive Hypercam. We also have a gray and purple. We have a blue and black. And then also, what is this one right here? So this is a red and silver, and then the black and gold. I'm gonna move some of these boxes out of the way so that we can get to the meat and potatoes of everything right here, which is the gun. So we'll do with this this olive Hypercam right here. So here's the box right here. These little holes that are on here, these are for hanging. If you have a shop or something like that and you wanted to hang this on a post, you can hang it from these little holes right here. If that's important to you. See how the holes line up? Boop, you can stick it on a wall or something like that. But people always ask what those holes are for. That's what those holes are for right there. A little breakdown of the gun on the back. But inside here, we've got our box. Open it up. Now the box opens up just like the Rise CZR did, or the standard CZR. We've got a little quick start guide. We have our warranty card to fill out. Top foam. Underneath is the barrel. We're going to pull this out because we're going to talk about this in a minute. And then we've got barrel sleeve, battery, grease, O-rings, and some Allen keys right there. So the same stuff that we saw before. That just kind of carried over. All right. So I'm going to take this one off of its post. We're going to put it down right here. Put that here. We're going to take this one off of its post. And we're going to put it down over here so that we can talk about changes. Let's come in a little bit on here too. All right. So, as you can see, the big difference that you're going to see right off the bat is trigger design, back cap design, and slightly different ASA setup right here. So, let's just get right to the meat and potatoes on the inside of the gun. The fuse bolt did not change. The solenoid that drives the bolt inside, or the engine, did not change. So there's a cosmetic change to the outside. We can see right here. This bolt cap has been enlarged so that you can undo it by hand. Now, out of the box, these right here, you're probably not going to be able to undo it by hand. So you will need an Allen key just to get that loose the first time you want to take it out of there. From then on out, when you're taking it out, putting it back in, you'll be able to do it by hand. Remember, when you unscrew the bolt and pull it out, always screw it back together. If you're not planning on disassembling it and servicing the bolt, you'll definitely want to screw that back together. Oops, that's the wrong one. I just want to show you that the engines stayed the same here. So here we have it. Same bolt setup right there, just the cap has been redesigned to give you something to grab onto when you're trying to undo it. So they're trying to make it easier for you to take it apart, because the bolt is where you're going to be doing your servicing for the most part, and they want to make that as easy as it is to take off. So with this, we can push this back in. And I always, as I'm pushing in, I like to rotate the bolt as I push it in. It helps without chopping the O-rings if I'm moving the O-rings around. And I always turn in the direction that would be tightening all the pieces together. If as I'm putting this in, I'm turning this way, there's a chance that I could be unscrewing parts as I'm putting it together. So I always turn clockwise, or the direction that would be combining parts. And then I can turn it to where it stops, and I don't need to crank on it. I don't need to like wrench it down or anything like that. I can go to where it stops and I can leave it and be done with it. That way when I come back and I need to undo it, I can now undo it by hand and easily get to the inside. If we take a close look at the body shape really hasn't changed at all. They have done some different milling to the body to kind of differentiate between the old one and the new one, but the shape of the body has not changed. We've got 4th gen eye pipe in there in the old one, and we have it in the new one as well. So it did not change over to the aluminum pipe that we've seen now in the MXR. It still has that that composite or that polycarbonate 4th gen eye pipe with the dual detents on the side. Well, I shouldn't say dual detents, detents on each side. Hyper 3 regulator still set up on the front right there, coming down to our macro line setup, and then towards the back we've got our UL airport, but now we've got a much larger knob to deal with. So if you ever had issues with trying to get a hold of that airport and switch it on and off, now that we've got the larger knob set up on there, should be easier for people to turn. I do like that. These little tiny knobs could be a little ouchy on the fingers sometimes, so having the larger one with just a larger surface to grab onto does make it easier. Still have the same composite grip right here. So the frame, grip frame, that UL grip frame, super comfortable. Their hourglass design comes from the bottom down here and then widens out and then comes back in. So it really ergonomically fits your hand very well, and it's very comfortable on the setup. I've always liked their grip frames right there. Some people think they're a little too thin at the top. I like that. I just happen to like the way it feels. And then trigger design. So we've got a different, this one's kind of swoops in for the original Rise CZR right there. This one definitely comes out. So, I mean, that's up to you. That's kind of a cosmetic or preference, cosmetic difference, preference difference right there. If you like it. I love this trigger. I think this one feels more comfortable. I've always liked the triggers that kind of come out rather than are rounded back like that. So, again, personal preference right there. Board setups still the same internally. Have the clamping feed neck on the top right there. Both of them have the clamp set up. And that's really it. Adjustable through the bottom. Still right there. Same adjustment setup. Let's do a little weight test. I don't imagine that there's a difference in weight at all, but we'll see. So here's we're at zeros. Here's our original CZR. 1 pound, 11.1. The new one, slightly lighter. This is 1 pound, 9.6. So maybe there's a little bit less on the body. 111.1. 196. So they must have taken some meat out of the body, so they didn't need to have it in there. Pulled it out. Another thing also, let me just check something I didn't think about. Nope. I was like, maybe this one had a battery in it, so that we were feeling the weight of the battery right there. No, no battery in each of them, so we know the battery's not causing the issue. Now, I think the major difference in this right here is in the barrels. So we had the UL barrel. I think this was a UL barrel. It could have just been a standard barrel right here. So we've got an aluminum back and aluminum front, 14-inch on the standard CZR right there. So this is what we get with this setup. The new CZR Plus comes with this ULI, I shouldn't say ULI, they call it a boomstick eye right there. So this is a completely composite barrel, except for the insert that goes through it, the eye insert right here, the ULI insert. The back, if I pull this out, the barrel back and the barrel tip are composite. So what that does for you is it makes it, I don't want to say cheaper. It's less expensive for them to manufacture that. And you can upgrade it right there. You get the insert. So you're going to get a 688 insert that when put together is going to work for you. So they're giving you the beginnings of an insert system barrel that you can expand on if you want to right there. This is, I believe, a 13.5-inch barrel. I believe if we screw this together, we're going to see like this. Yeah, there you go. So there's our length difference right there between those two barrels. But the cool thing about it is you can shoot it like this if you want. Or you can pick yourself up a ULI tip right here. And then we can take our boomstick set up right here. And this aluminum front will go on to our composite back. And there we go. Now we've got a complete 14-inch aluminum tip, aluminum insert right here running right through. So that's a pretty cool setup right there. Weight-wise, let's just see where we're at here. So I would assume, since we're going composite to aluminum, that we're going to be lighter. Who knows? Units. Let's change here. There we go. So 4.2 ounces. Yeah, 3 ounces right there. So we're shaving an ounce off there. That's not bad. I mean, it's not a lot in overall look of everything. But then if we change this to this, 3.6. So with our composite back and our aluminum ULI tip, we're still lighter than the aluminum that came with the original CZR right there. 4.2, 3.6. So I think that's pretty cool. For people who aren't into barrels or are just getting started in a gun, to have this insert setup, basically the die is getting you prepared to go down that road and maybe generate a larger kit right there, buying more inserts, buying a different tip, buy a different back. I mean, you could get rid of the whole barrel, buy a back and a tip, and then just use the insert that you have. You can do whatever you want right there, but I think it's a good way to get people started in getting their kit set up right there. And there's so many PWR inserts right now. You've got die making inserts, carbon making inserts, planet making inserts, and basically there's one for every single size that you could possibly want for that insert. So there's so many choices that you can get right there. But I think that's cool that this works with this in case you want to go with the longer barrel. You want to go with the aluminum insert to an aluminum tip. Maybe you're looking for a better performance, better accuracy, whatever it happens to be, you can upgrade that barrel and make steps down the road right there. All right, so I'll give you guys one more look at it right there. I'm going to put the original tip on with the barrel right here so you can have one final look. There you have it. Let me get this out of the background. And this is that olive hypercam with that barrel on there. All right, so the DYE CZR Plus. Last thing to do is to take it outside and shoot it. Here we go. All right, guys, we're outside with the CZR Plus. We're ready to shoot it. Shooting the stock barrel with the stock 688 insert. We've got our LTR with some paint in there. We're set it in ramping at 10.5 so we can just shoot some paint out of it so you guys can see the brand new CZR Plus. Here we go. have it. All the way through a hopper right there. If you're looking for something that's not gonna break the budget and comes with some pretty good upgrades to it, especially this barrel setup, I like what they're trying to do right here. Get on the website, check out the 6 new colors of the CZR Plus available at ANSgear.com.